We have invited a couple of mentors. I mean, we have invited all the mentors. Our sponsors, we have invited our Phoenix Guild members. So awesome. So we already seem like we have a full house, but I'm looking for those who are going to present. Okay, we have Marlene. I think their team is presenting 9:30.
Maybe if we just ask those who are going to present to raise their hands, we can just immediately make them co-host as well.
Yeah. No, as they keep joining, also, I'm just making them the co-host because I am able to get their names as well. Co-host. Yeah, I've DY, I have made you the co-host. Emma. Emma, don't know what's Emma's Discord name. Um, yeah, if you're presenting, please raise your hands in case I have not made you a co-host already. Marina, co-host. Emma, are you presenting as a part of any team?
Yeah.
Emma, can you put in the chat if you're presenting, or you can react by raising your hand? She said yes. Okay. Oh, sorry. Co-host, yes. Marlene, you are also presenting, right? With 3?
Yes, we have 3
Yes.
folks
Okay.
presenting.
Yes. I'm making a
Thank you.
co-host. Yeah. Jesse, I'm making the co-host. Okay. Okay. Awesome. I think we have everyone here. So first of all, I'm going to present. I'm going to give a presentation, but that's going to be after 2 demos because I know that everybody is joining from different time zones, so I don't want to kind of take up their time. I'll talk a little bit about the bootcamp, present some statistics. Only 5 minutes. First of all, I want to say thanks everyone for being able to join us today. First off, thanks to all the cohort participants who participated. Of course, without you, there is no boot camp, no cohort. All of the hard work has been done by you. And if you're presenting today, congratulations, you are successfully able to work on a project. It doesn't mean that it has to be fully functional product, but you have learned Solidity and you have used that, try to incorporate that in some kind of real-time use case. This is going to act as your gateway to the Web3 world, right? Whatever role you would like to take up in the Web3 space, be it community, be it marketing, be it development focused, or be it a product manager role, it is always great to learn the technology behind, learn the underlying technology that will help you power through, help you get through these amazing roles. If you do plan to have a career, irrespective of whether you plan to have a career, full-fledged career, whether you plan to freelance or just plan to attempt some bounties, tasks, etc., for any of these things, learning Solidity, in my opinion, is a first great place to start. So amazing work by everybody who has been a part of this cohort. Second of all, this cohort would not have been possible without the mentors. A huge shout out to all the mentors who have been a part of this cohort. They have everyone who we onboarded as mentors is exceptionally amazing, and they have such tight schedules primarily because of the way things work in the Web3 world. But they have, given their time and their commitment. They have helped you, help the Solidity cohort members wherever possible, both in terms of being project leads as well as throughout the content period of time. They have helped you wherever possible. Third, and again, one of the other pillars of this bootcamp are our sponsors, our supporters. We have got grants from various different foundations, various different organizations, DAOs, that believe that it is important to see more women in the Web3 space, right? And we are super, super thankful to them for being able to give us this grant. Part of these grants are going to be powering your project demos as well. So as I had mentioned in the email, for those teams that are successfully able to complete a project and submit it, they'll be graded by the mentors, their team leads who are a part of your teams. The mentors will be grading your projects. They will be looking through your code and adding some feedback for you. And based on the mentor's feedback, if your project team has passed successfully, your entire team will be getting $1,000 if you have demoed today. There is also partial price for those who are not able to demo the entire app but have just written the smart contracts and unit test cases. That was the aim of the bootcamp. So we don't want to make it compulsory to build an end-to-end app. So if you have just written the smart contracts plus unit test cases, and you're able to showcase that as well in your today's demo, then your team will be rewarded with $500, right? Because building a DApp is insanely more difficult than actually writing the smart contract. Hope many of you have realized that by now. So thank you, everybody. Last but not the least, the entire team behind the bootcamp, everybody who has helped us organize this, who has been a part of this in any way possible. Uh, Sri Lakshmi, Nivedita, for being pillars. Like whenever I went to them and asked them for anything, they were ready to do it. So this entire bootcamp has been structured, created, run by a group of women for a group of women, and this has been such an amazing experience. Now that we are already 7 minutes late, I will give the stage to the first team that is presenting their demo. They are called the Non-Fungible Girls. So team Non-Fungible Girls, you are up. If I have not made any of your team members as as co-host, please let me know or raise your hand. I'm just looking at this process and doing it as we speak. So team Non-Fungible Girls, what I would like you to do is please introduce your team, what each of your team members have contributed to in this project, and please also talk about your problem statement and then show us a demo of what you have built. Awesome. Maria,
Okay,
are you presenting? From
I am presenting. Yeah, can you see everything?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Okay,
Awesome.
good. Then I will start.
Yeah, I'm just
So,
spotlighting you.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is our final project from the Solidity Bootcamp we did for inside the Phoenix Guild. We are the non-fungible girls team, and this is the Genesis cohort June 2022. Our use case is the amateur athletes NFTs, and this is to increase the prestige of the sports club with rewarding athletes like a pro. The problem in local sports team is that amateur athletes do not enhance their performance as they could due to the lack of commitment to training and tournaments during the season. That's why we thought it is possible to make this better by encouraging athletes to attend training sessions and tournaments by earning NFTs that give them rewards. And how we did this is we prepared a little front end where a Solidity written contract is in the back end, where the admin of a club has a possibility to register an athlete with a name and the athlete's address. Afterwards, it is possible for the admin to register the training sessions joined, as well as the tournaments, and the contract will calculate some points based on the participation, and everyone knows the progress of the athlete. At the end of the season, the athlete will get rewarded with the NFT. This will be done by minting the NFT directly into the athlete's address by one click. So the sponsors will know precisely how the grants are distributed, and the athletes will improve their performance, receive rewards, and collect the club's NFT. And so the sports clubs will level up, formalization, and the project will become more professional. So we are the non-fungible girls. Divya from India, she did part in Solidity and full stack development. Joanne from China, she did product development and research. Silvia Margarita from Mexico, she did the Solidity developer part. And me, Maria from Germany, I was a team lead and worked on Solidity and full stack. Before we start with our demo, a big thank you to the Phoenix Guild and especially all of the women that and sponsors that you made this happen. And now I will show you our demo. So at this stage, our contract is already deployed. We have a contract address and we can check on EtherScan what is done with our contract. So here we have already did some transactions. You can check the contract, you can check the code, and you can also see which events happened, and you can also write to the contract. And this is what we perform now. Here we will register the first an athlete. Due to the fact that we worked with bytes 32, we have to convert our string into a byte 33. What we are doing now, we will enter the name as this, and we will add our wallet address of the athlete. And now it didn't work because we were not connected. So let's connect with MetaMask. And now everything is fine because MetaMask is popping up. We have to confirm our transaction. So, and now we can view also our transaction on EtherScan. It's pending, indexing, and successful. Okay, let's do it on the website. So connect again, like before, with the MetaMask. So now enter the name. Here we don't need the translation into byte 32. At the athlete, MetaMask is popping up, confirming. And now we can enter some values for tournaments played and training sessions. And we can save them. And again, MetaMask is popping up. We have to confirm and everything is cool. So now we can do the mint. And we have to wait a bit. Okay, the mint is done. All points are set to 0. And now we can go to OpenSea testnet and check our contracts address and see who got the NFTs. Yeah, if we click on the owner. And here we go. That's it.
Cool. This was super awesome, Maria and team, and great job. I think you were able to get both the contracts and the front end up and running, which is awesome. I want to open up the floor to kind of so that folks, if they have any questions, what do you think about the ideas? I think we have a couple of mentors who have joined as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. We have Heather, we have Kier, we have, I think we had Inyola, but Inyola, so if anybody has any questions, or Nivedita and Srilakshmi as well, if you have any questions.
We also have a couple of folks from people who have sponsored us. So we have Tane from Builders Tribe as well. Tane, you're open to questions too if you have. And I think we have Skandesh from Conmaverse too.
No, Skandesh is a part of the presenting team.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, you guys can ask any question or queries
Yeah,
you have.
I mean, we'll just open it up. Anybody who has a question or who wants to know more about this project, is interested in the sports side of things, perhaps, and you can also, of course, connect with the team later.
Yeah. Also for the other ones, we generated MD file because we wanted to, at the beginning, it was very complicated with the environment setup, and I focused on it in the MD file. So it is maybe also very helpful for other ones who had struggles with it.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could share like some tips and tricks on how you set up the environment and what are the things that you kind of navigated through, that would be great.
Yeah, we did in the GitHub repository. We can share on the Discord.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was going to be actually my next question, and maybe for all the presenting teams, I want them to take a minute and just share like what are the things that you thought were kind of, you know, were hurdles for you to get started with building an application. Once you knew about Solidity, of course, front-end knowledge is required to be able to work on these, but say given you have a good front-end developer and you learned Solidity from the bootcamp, which was the aim of it, what were some of the things that you thought were missing or you think are required to connect the dots in order to build an end-to-end app? Anyone from your team you want to share? Like Joanne, I know you're part of the team. There's Divya, and then Sylvia and Marina.
You mean what was difficult beside the smart
Yes,
contract? Yeah. Okay.
yes. So smart contracts you learned during the bootcamp. What other
Yes.
parts were difficult that you couldn't put together?
Mm-hmm. Definitely connecting the front end with the back end. Also setting the environment, because this part of the API keys and the private keys that we are not sharing with each other. Each of us has to set in their local environment, and also like a little bit, not the most, but a little bit Git version, like how making the decision of how are we going to work so that we don't mess up with the code is in the beginning is challenging. After we really have an agreement is good, but it's something good to learn to use.
Well, if it's okay if I chip in for a second, I was their mentor, so I've seen a kind of the evolution of this. So the only reason I'm not asking questions right now is because I've actually talked to them a lot about this, and I'll be looking at their project in the next week. But the things that you just talked about, Sylvia, are exactly the things that Solidity developers do every day. Figuring out like to make sure they get their local environment working, that everyone's stuff works in the local environment, and working with Git so that you're not accidentally overwriting each other's code. So you guys got like the real developer experience then when you're talking about, looking at those issues, because that's something that every team, every development team really, but especially Solidity development teams and DApp development teams that they deal with. So you got the real experience.
Thanks, Heather.
And it looks to me like you guys did a good job in doing all that too. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think your application was amazing, and when every time the MetaMask was popping up, I was like super happy. I was like, yes, this works and it's connected. Yes, so awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, ladies. I want to go to the if the team is completed, I want to go to the next team. Yeah, Sri Lakshmi, raise your hand. Sorry, you have something.
Yeah, I basically just wanted to ask in terms of project management aspect, right? Now that you guys have built an end-to-end app, are you guys feeling confident to work in a team and, take this project forward? Or would you be now in a position where you could probably work on a project on a hackathon or attempt a bounty on your own? Yeah,
want to
I
say
am
something?
confident that I can work on end to end like full DApp. I can do the development activities, I'm sure, but I'm not sure whether I am fit to work in a team where now I want to learn the team management skills, like where I'm told each particular thing, how, what, and how it should be done. That thing was quite challenging. It was new for me. I should work on that. Other than that, the technical part, like I'm confident. All right. Yeah, understand. Sylvia, you had something to add on to this?
I could say that while when until having a good leader, I could feel confident to go to work on to join a hackathon, but not being the team leader, like somebody who has the skills and also the more general knowledge. Like in this case, Maria did very good. It was a good way to participate in this activity. Mhm.
Understand. So these are some of the things that we'll probably focus on from the next cohort as
Yeah.
well. That you know how to enhance your team building skills and probably put you guys in a leadership role so that you guys can get used to it and then feel confident enough to participate or work with any team in the future. Cool, great work, guys.
Okay, awesome. Thanks everyone. Thanks team. I want to invite the next team, Nina. Nina, let me just note up. Yeah, sorry, it's Marina. Mm, that's the team. The team is project name is Real Estate.
Hi. Hi. It's Dee. I will be presenting for this team.
Okay, yeah, thanks team.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think Nina is one our team member. She submitted application for
Yeah.
us, but yeah, I will be presenting. So yeah, thank you.
Can
Yeah.
I just ask a quick question?
Please
Is this
go
the
ahead.
same team that Shrusti was on?
Yeah,
Shruti, is this your
Yes.
team?
Okay.
I
'Cause met
don't
with
think
Shrusti,
so.
but- Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
So we
Emma, DY, and Nina and Srishti. Is this
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
team?
because I met with Shrusti, but not with the others, so I just wanted to see if it was the same project. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, Heather, it was the same project. Unfortunately, we were not very tied with mentors, so our organization was not the best. So we do have solution to present. I would say not as good as the first team, but we do have something. So yeah, if fine, we would present.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
I've made you the co-host D, so you should be able to fill it.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm just looking for my presentation.
No problem.
Oh,
So after this, the next team is not able to present. Anushka and her team. So there's a team presenting post that. Geeta. Geeta, are you able to move little ahead? Geeta and Skandish. Okay, I'll put the message on the chat. Okay, yeah. Please go ahead. B, you can start.
thank you. So first I would say thank you for the Phonics Guild Bootcamp organizers for organizing this and learning us Solidity skills. Also, thank you for all of you who are participants and who made us learn more. So today I will be speaking about this project we were starting to work on. The name of the project is Buy Real Estate NFT. And our project group name is Smart Contracts Real Estate. Team members, as already mentioned, are Nina, Lisa Lander, and me. Content is I will be speaking a little bit about project selection, project idea, will show things we have from demo, and what would be the next steps. So the reason I would like to speak about project selection is because the way we approached the project was that we all gathered as a group of people that would like to work on real estate related NFTs. So, but we didn't have quite idea what exactly. So the first thing we did, did market research on what is already there related to real estate NFTs. And market research showed that most of the things are related to real estate tokenization, which is shared ownership of properties. Although this was very interesting, we did manage to find what are competitors and what would be some starting points, but this solution was too complicated at this stage, so we didn't proceed with this one. The next solution we started to work on was to mint property NFT and list property on the marketplace. So we created 2 smart contracts, and both of them would import ERC's 721 contract, but we were not able to proceed with the solution because front-end was too complicated. However, we did create a GitHub repository. It's here, and if mentors are willing, we would be thankful if they can check these 2 contracts too. The third solution we decided to proceed was the simplest solution, which we were able to connect with the front end. And this is the solution for buy real estate NFT. So project idea behind this is to create a web page with a list of properties and their prices. Once potential buyer selects one of the properties, then pop-up will show up with a specific address for that property. And this address can be given to and then buyer can use this address to send money to, and once money has been sent, or tokens or Ethereum, then another pop-up will show up that payment has been proceeded. Within the contract, there is a third option for an owner of the contract to trigger delivery of the keys of the property, but we didn't implement this on the front-end side. So this is how front end looks. I will show a page now. Our GitHub repositories on the location. I can send this presentation to mentors, and we did create documentation on how things work. So related to web page, it looks like this. It lists 3 properties. And this is the idea that when we click on one of the properties, it will show up it will connect to MetaMask, and it will pop up window with the address. However, I'm having issues like connecting to localhost, so I cannot show them at the moment. This would be like the idea behind the presentation. And then in the next steps, M will say what do we think are the next steps with this project? What else do we need to implement? So M, if you can just unmute.
Okay, so for the next steps, we're thinking about implementing the second solution that we had. We're going to have the marketplace. Since we already have the marketplace smart contract, we're going to connect it to the front end and enable users to list real estates as NFTs, and other users can come and buy from them, and also implement real estate tokenization, where we can implement fractional ownership and different users can own a piece of a property using NFT fractional ownership mechanism. That's it.
And that's the end of our presentation. So thank you all for listening. And if there is any questions, we're happy to answer.
Thank you.
I just
Vinny,
had a
and-
couple of questions. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Heather. I was just going to say,
Yeah.
going to open the floor.
So yeah, I had a meeting with Tristy, and we talked about some of the kind of the challenges in doing real estate. And I know that you guys did a lot of market research, so well done for that. You wouldn't believe how many companies with products on the market don't even do that first. So very, very good step. What were, and you've put like your challenges in there that were more like functional challenges. And what other like maybe technical challenges did you guys find, and were you able to overcome them? And if not, that's okay too.
Well, I think the biggest challenge we had like with these 2 properties was like connecting to front end, which was more complicated because we didn't know how to start with since we would have to select a buyer with the highest price. So I guess that would be much more complicated solution than just selecting and adding address. And then there was also this thing, there is this additional contract. I think Heather, you suggested, there is a contract that holds money between the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
However, yeah, that was a good solution, but we thought like maybe that's, you know, if there is an option to create an address, because we use this special function within Solidity to create a specific address for a property, we thought maybe that this will be like more simple solution. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Yeah, that's I'll be interested to look at it and see what your solution was, but it sounds interesting, and it's definitely a big thing right now, property as NFTs.
So I will send this presentation, I think, to Gian, or Gian, if you can give me a list, and then within presentation there are links to GitHub repositories for both solutions we implemented. The one is like the app together with front end, and the one is just like smart contract. So if you can please take a look, would be great. Yeah.
Hey, you can just upload your presentation, GitHub link and demo link once you're done, I guess, with the integration. You can put it on the Excel sheet that we've shared on Discord. So they'll have columns. So just put the link to it, and that the Excel sheet will be circulated to all the mentors.
Okay, thank you.
Is it okay if I make one comment?
Yeah, please, Claire.
Okay. Well, firstly, lovely presentation, and I'm looking forward to actually going through the GitHub. There was just one thing I want to raise because it really hit a chord with a problem that I used to have in my 20s and 30s. And that is, you started the presentation by saying that it wasn't going to be good. And you should never do that, right? You can let the audience make up their mind. But if you start by saying that it's not going to be good, you're kind of setting an expectation. And I have to raise this because it's something that I suffered terribly from in my 20s and 30s. And so it kind of pained me to hear you say those words. So I just wanted to raise that.
Thank you so much. I was actually thinking, like, after I said it, yeah, that's not a good idea. But I've seen the first project and I was like,
well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the one before you and the one after you is fantastic. I just wanted to raise it because I suffered terribly from this myself, and it doesn't achieve anything for you. It puts, if you're unlucky, it puts the audience, or if you're in an interview or anything like that, it puts them in a bad frame of mind for you. So, but you get it. So just next time you're giving a presentation, I hope you can remember these words and then just swallow what it is you're about to say, because it will really help you.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Well done on the project.
Thank you. Really appreciate the comments.
Yeah, I think there's one more question that Skandesh has put in the chat as to if you have thought about handling compliance related concerns with the government.
We didn't manage to take a look at this. Did you maybe, during your market research, did you maybe get to something similar with compliances?
No, I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Yeah, we understand that for real estate, like physical real estate, that might be a big issue, but maybe with digital real estates, compliance is still in it just still didn't create. So maybe, there's space to develop, support developing compliance in that digital space. Yeah, but for real estate, yeah, we didn't take a look yet.
Good. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, team. First off, want to second what Kier mentioned. Everybody who's on the call and everybody who's built a project, I feel, and everybody in the cohort, by the way, including mentors, feel that you have done amazing work. So kudos to that. And thank you so much for presenting. I know you mentioned you have done smart contracts and you also built a dApp, but unfortunately you're unable to spin up the local host. So I'm looking forward to seeing your smart contract submission as well as your video, if you have any, of a functioning dApp that you were able to build. So that those things you can submit as a part of the presentations, the mentors and the team will take a look and we will come back to you. The team that is meant to present at
Thank you.
9. Yeah, thanks guys. So for the next team that is meant to present, I think they mentioned they were unable to complete the project because some of their backend engineers fell sick. But I think some of the team members have joined the call, Anushka and Abarna. I still want to offer you the stage. Maybe you want to talk about what you did, what your idea is. It would be great to share with everyone. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Gyan. And yeah, I figured we put in a lot of effort into this. We were a 5-member team. And thanks, Abanda, for joining as well. I think she was caught up with work. It's good to see she could make it. But yeah, it's been a demanding week. And like I said, our backend engineer felt really sick. He has like a 103 degrees fever. So we had to just pause the project and we hope to finish it next week. Also, 4 out of 5 of our team is from Coinbase, and it's just been some week overall at work. So yeah, we had some ambitious plans. I'm going to quickly present and show you what we wanted to work on. We have the Figma files, the front end was spun up. Abarna worked on the smart contracts. So most of the works with the smart contracts was also done. The backend engineer who was supposed to connect the front end to the smart contracts was not available. Cool. I can see that I have presentation access. I'm going to quickly present my screen. Can you guys see this?
Yes,
Okay.
I made you and Abarna the co-host. So
Awesome.
yeah, I was going to say that this is the only team that I know that worked on Figma files and all. So already you guys
Yeah.
have done a great job, Anushka. If you have anything front
Yeah,
end,
nice, very nice. Yeah.
yeah, if you have the front end spun up and if you have the smart contracts written as well, do submit your project, irrespective of whether you were able to make the connection or not. You can still submit your project. We'll evaluate it for the front end and the smart contracts for the work you have done. So I'm gonna spotlight you right now. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Again, I did not create a presentation because I did not expect to be presenting today. Like we thought we won't really be doing the demo, but then Gyan was like, hey, you guys can drop by and talk about the idea anyway. So I'm just going to present the document that we had written, which is kind of like a pre-white paper. This would be cleaned up and these 2 documents would merge into a white paper. But okay, I'll just start to keep it very short, 5 minutes. Uh, the elevator pitch here is that we are building a decentralized advertising network for Web3. Advertising is a very, very core functional use case for the web in general. It has broadly 3 stakeholders, as we all know, and it's super important for all 3 of them. As an advertiser, as a business, that's how you put out your products, how you spread word about your business. It helps new creators, new small businesses to come and get discovery in the market. And it's a solved problem in Web2. We all know advertising is already done. It's mostly like gamed by Google and a bunch of other top players. If in Fortune 10 companies, the top tech companies, most of their income in fact comes from advertising. So it's one of the largest industries in the world. Our take was, hey, how would this work out in Web3? How can we get all of this functionality into Web3? And yeah, essentially do it in a more equitable privacy saving sort of a way so that it's not as exploitative or as concerning it tends to be in Web2. So yeah, broadly 3 user groups. The first one being advertiser. What do advertisers want? They want to be able to find the right people who are interested in their product and their service. They have it solved in Web2. They would obviously want to get the Web3 traffic as well. And we believe that initially in Web3, like when I use Reddit, when I use Google, I still get a lot of Web3 ads for a lot of new wallets or NFT projects, etc. So especially projects and companies which already work in Web3 would want to advertise to more Web3 users. So that's our first user persona that we solve for. The second is the developer or the dApps or the creators in Web3, right? So yeah, there are a lot of ways to monetize your products in Web3. But if you don't want to directly charge your user, how do you make money? When you create a new product, you create a new game, you would still want to do advertising, but using Google Ads would just be against the ethos of Web3. Like you're building a dApp and you're for a decentralized world and then you're using Google Ads. It does not make any sense. So we wanted to give dApps, developers, and creators in the Web3 economy a way to monetize the products without charging their users. And of course, ads is the right way to go over there. We wanted to build something very easy to integrate, etc. So that's the second user persona we were solving for. The third being Web3 user. And this doesn't even come into the play in the Web2 world, right? Your attention, your private data is sold to people and you get nothing out of it. And you can't opt out. Maybe use an ad block. I use an ad block over here. I'm using Brave browser, as you can see. I don't see ads. But yeah, if you're like scrolling through Instagram or Reddit, you can't really get rid of the ads and you don't get anything out of it. Maybe discover new products, but it's pretty much about it. So solving for that, given it's a Web3 world, our decentralized advertising network would actually pay you to be able to see ads or if you're clicking on ads, right? So in a sense, because our protocol is monetizing your attention, your screen time, and your personal data to a certain extent, the kind of person you are, the kind of NFTs you have in your wallet, etc., you should be compensated for it. It doesn't make sense for me to make money off it, for the protocol to make money out of it and not pay you. So that being the broad idea, what we set up to build out in this MVP in the project week is a very simple product, which is again outlined in this PRD. The way it would work, the way the user flow would work is the advertiser puts $100 into the contract. A creator would integrate our protocol into their dApp. And as a user, when somebody would come and view that app, for every 1 cent that the advertiser put in, the creator gets half of it, the user gets 40% of it, and 10% of it goes to the protocol. So that's how the protocol is making their income, right? And of course, this is starting as a centralized project. The protocol is going to be like owned by the creators, but our vision would obviously be to make this a DAO and kind of like even the governance and a lot of other things could be decentralized as well. So that, yeah, essentially people can also invest in us easily and get money off the protocol as the decentralized advertising network grows. Quickly coming to the Figmas to give you a very quick visual idea. Again, these are the three. This is what our demo looks like. The front end is done. I don't know how to set it up. I'm not an engineer. I'm a product manager, and we don't have the front end engineer on the call. So yeah, but it's there in the GitHub, so you guys can probably check it out if you know how to spin it up. But yeah, this is what it looks like. As an advertiser, you connect your wallet to get started. You set up a campaign name, so it's like, hey, Black Friday sale or whatever, right? So why are you running this ad? And you put the ad content, a simple title, body, and a redirection link. You can see the preview over here. You can go to the payments page. Once you come to the payments page, you can enter your budget. So like $1,000 spread over how many days, because you could spend $1,000 per minute if you want. And we give you a brief idea of how many views and how many clicks this could get you. This is an estimate, of course. And once you click on pay with Ethereum, your wallet is connected, so you directly pay, and that money goes into our smart contract. This is your final dashboard where you can keep tracking how much you've funded, how much of it has already been spent, how much is remaining. You can add more funds to this campaign or withdraw all of your funds because you're not liking your results or you want your money back or whatever. This is what we spun up for the dApp side. So this is like a blog page where our ad is showing up. So yeah, like this is a sample ad that we put on 12% interest in Ethereum. So this is some fake website we've created. But yeah, if I'm logged out as a user, I see this. This is obviously an ad, but I also see this prompt saying connect wallet to earn from this ad. And if I connect my wallet, I would get a very small payout. So you earn from this ad, right? Now, we are incentivizing people to connect their wallets. How that helps us is that you now understand who is an elite user. So say I have a Basi and a CryptoPunk and a bunch of other elite NFTs. That means I'm a high value user. I'm really deep into Web3. And this company is probably willing to pay more for my attention. So when I connect my wallet, it basically helps us target the ads better. And yeah, that also ends up in you getting rewarded because you're sharing your personal info. So this is a very brief intro of what we've done. We do have a technical design doc. Like, yeah, we all work in tech, so I think we will, and we want to do this for a long while. We don't want to drop it after this project peak. We probably want to pursue this for a few months, see where this goes, actually build it out, put it out there, right? So we were taking like a slow, long, scalable approach, writing the documents properly. But yeah, if Abarna, you want to come on and talk about the smart contracts, we could do that. or if you guys have questions, we can move to the questions. Either works for me.
I can explain a little bit about the tech stack that we were using. So
Yeah.
essentially, when we were developing this, there were multiple questions that we had in mind. Are we targeting only DApps right now? What about existing Web2 users? How would they get home? So to improve adoption with Web3 as well, if we could supply this out as an SDK that some Web2 website could just integrate with and take it, and also it should be able to work with any of the chains as well. So primarily we chose Morales for that. So that works with any of the chains. And then our backend stack included MetaMask for signing and Matic based testnet for writing smart contracts into.
Oh, it was the flower press?
Sorry?
Vivian Lee?
I think there is. Okay. Yes.
I'm not sure what's happening.
No. I think that was maybe there was a disturbance. Somebody had unmuted. I'm actively trying to mute everyone. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Aparna.
so we were able to write up a smart contract, which basically consisted of advertiser or user being able to deposit and withdraw money from. The smart contract itself or the protocol itself will be using an escrow, which would basically take in money and give out payouts. That's how we've done it. So while developing smart contracts, we came across problems where we'll have to avoid re-entrancy attacks and ensure that someone else maybe just takes the same smart contract, and if they run it, they shouldn't be able to withdraw. So we were trying to cover those use cases, and I think we just got caught up. So you can see that in pull request as well. So that's so far what we've done.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Aparna and Anushka, and thank you for actually being able to come and present. I know that I am hearing a couple of things around Coinbase, so I hope you're all doing good. And I know that there's a bit of chaos in the whole Web3 space. So this is a great time for us to just sit back, reflect, and just build. So, but again, thank you so much for coming on today and being able to present. I know most of your teammates are sick, so I really, really appreciate you guys sharing this idea. I think you should also connect with one of the mentors. I don't know if your team has connected with any mentor yet, but I would definitely suggest to connect with mentors from the bootcamp and get their buy-in into your idea, because it could really help you enhance your architecture and also think of different ways to position this. Primarily, I'm suggesting this to you because you want to take this idea ahead as well, and I think this is a great kind of first step which you could use to attract some grants. So it could be something I will also discuss with you, and we can discuss in the group as well. Happy to do that. Opening up the floor for questions, if anyone has any questions.
I will ask to the team, how many days approximately you dedicated to define the structure, the architecture, everything that you showed us?
How many days to write the documents and come up with all of the things I presented?
Yes.
We started really late, so just the last weekend, couple of weekends. Yeah, the tech folks started working on the GitHub stuff. When was that, Aparna? When did you guys start
I think
working?
we started doing it in a couple of weeks back. So we were able to spend some time over the weekends. The first weekend, like over the couple of days, we chose our tech stack. Anushka was able to come up with the PRD. We managed to get the Figma ready, and then we started writing our TDD. That was one weekend. On the second weekend, we managed to get our setup done and actually start coding. Yeah.
Yeah. So the documents were done on, sorry, just wrapping up, the documents were done on the first weekend, and the last weekend over here, they were actually coding it out.
Okay. We could say 1 week. It took 1 week to prepare the documentation.
No, I'd say 2 days. Like
2 days. Okay. Good.
I think we
Thank
had
you.
a really good backend engineer who was able to quickly come up with some details for the backend. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. I just remembered you can see. But yeah, I think we just took like 4th June, 5th June. So this was done over 2 days. And the same for the PRD, 4th June, 5th June, we just finished it. Yeah.
Awesome. Anushka, can you also talk about who your team members are? I think I missed that. I know you and Aparna are on the call, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, sure. Aparna, you want to start? Maybe you can introduce yourself and Somani, and I can introduce the rest.
I'm Abarna. I work as a backend engineer with Congays. So I work with Abhishek Sumani. He's also part of our team. He was the major person who was able to hash out very high level details about this. So we sort of work together on backend. We also have a front end engineer, Aisha, who worked on basically making this Figma come to life. And there's also Sahili, who was doing some user research for finding out what kind of pricing algorithm we can use over here. But in the end, I think we sort of went with very fixed pricing model. We weren't able to dedicate a lot of time to it. And then there's Anushka, who's just come up.
Yep, I'm a product manager. So, like, I had this idea a long while back, and I was pretty happy that Gyan gave us this opportunity and all this could come together. And I also did the designs. So, yeah, I did the designing and the product management. And yeah, like Abana said, Saili is a data scientist. She works at Wells Fargo. So, she's from a traditional finance background. She codes, like, she's a quantitative coder. So, she would be working on coming up with the best pricing and targeting model for us. So she's more on the finance pricing side, and yeah, 2 backend, 1 frontend, 1 data science, user research, and I'd be the product manager.
awesome. Any other questions? Anyone?
No questions. I was just going to say that I know that you weren't planning on presenting, but you did a good job of presenting, and nice job on the Figma. Like I said, that's really good. I'm not a front end coder, so when I make front ends, they look terrible. They work, but they look terrible. So it's nice to see that there are actually people out there doing the Figma and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, well done on the presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity again. This was great.
Thank you, Gyan.
Awesome. Thanks, team. If there are no questions, shall we move to the next team? Next team is Geeta. I think that's your team. Project named Learn and Earn. Are you ready?
Yeah. Hi. This is not Geeta. I mean, Geeta is. Hi, Ritu.
Ritu. Hey. So
nice.
yeah, great. You were able to make it today. So we thought that.
I would just be there for 5-10 minutes. But I'll try to be by the end of this. So if you could quickly, have me share the screen.
Yeah. I just made you co-host.
Okay, wonderful. And let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
All right. Okay. Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. So, so this is a project called Learn and Earn, and I'll tell you where it actually all started. This actually started because the time when this Discord server started, the bootcamp started, we had a lot of questions in mind because we were all learners, right? We always wanted that whatever we know, we could expand the knowledge more, right? And try to share things together. And there were times when, I had put up questions, but I could not get the answers. I was too curious and less patient. I wasn't getting my answers. What should I do? And, during that time, I saw that Gyan, really what she did was she said, okay, if people are helping each other, why don't we have some bounties? And that's the time when I could see that the answers were coming so very quickly. And a few people also wrote me DMs asking that whether my question was answered or not, and which was, very delightful to see. And that's where, we come up with this idea of learning and earning. So this is a project. I mean, I explained you the entire problem, right? So what we did is you could take a look at what we have done. So look at this high level idea where you have learning communities. Those communities are doing the learning based on these platforms, right? These are the communication platforms. You have LinkedIn, you have Telegram, you have Discord servers, and WhatsApp and whatnot. So people are sharing their knowledge and information, asking questions. But whenever you get a question and you answer that question, and the person who has asked the question stamps and says that, yes, you have answered it correctly, it helped me, or it helped me solve the problem, or it helped me, learn better, that's the time they will put a like, or they will put a fire, right? So those kind of icons are something which tell you, which validate exactly that, yes, you are hearing from the horse's mouth, yes, I have, solved the problem because of you. And that's the time when we give them tokens. We give them ERC20 tokens. These tokens are, we created the smart contract, and we are actually giving these tokens based on the range of, the answers. So if the answer is extremely good, you get more points. If it somewhat helps you, then you get less. But then we are awarding everybody who's, helping this community learn, right? So once you get these ERC20 tokens, you get a rewarded user. And after that, right? So if I get those tokens, okay, I might feel that, oh wow, I have helped somebody, but then what is in it for me? So what we have done here is we have again created another layer of, rewarding mechanism, where if, say, for example, you accumulate, say, 20 tokens, you will be allowed to purchase an NFT. And what that NFT is, it is basically a token gated kind of a community events or tickets, where it is again linked to the entire learning process. Say, for example, Linux is hosting an event which is paid event. You might get a discount. Why? Because you have helped the community come to a level, right, where you have helped people, and that's why you are being awarded. And then that award, you are using it as an NFT, or maybe you are using it to purchase an NFT or get inside of a token gated event, which generally people have to pay. You have to either get a discount or you get free of cost, and that's what it is. So you have a paid, token gated event. So what we did here on the technological level is we have created a karma accountant, right? So this karma means the points which you get are your karma, right? What you do is, what you reap. So here, this is a bot, and this bot is the one who's taking care of who's doing what, right? How many answers, how many valid answers, what is the quality of answers, the correctness of the answers, and everything. So this is linked to an AI/ML engine, and this is something which we are still working on. It's in a very, very preliminary state, but we did a lot of research on this. But here on the bot level, we are doing this based on the emojis which are being given by the questioner, right? And based on that, the bot analyzes, and we call this smart contract. This all is being done by this accountant, and then he calls this contract, and then the rest of the flow, works. So we have a UI which is a React JS UI, and these are the team members. We have put a tech stack, and so overall idea generation was with me, and I created the UI also. Then the contract was done by Geeta, and she is the one who is going to present the demo. So AI ML research and contract testing was done by Teju. She is also there on the call with us, and the entire bot creation, the heavy lifting is being done by Skandesh. So we are all 4 members, and these are the we have done the bot on Python, created the contracts on, of course, on Solidity, and then the test cases are there on Red Hat, on the Hat. So here, so React UI is something which we did work on as a part of here, where you actually try to mint. So it's more like a marketplace in a very preliminary stage. What we wanted to, the whole idea of having this particular project is to understand more, build more on the idea. That's one, and then learn from, especially on the contract side. So we are on the we'll show a quick demo after this, and then I might take up the future scope also. Jan, you tell me if you want to go ahead and present. I mean, if you like me to present the future scope. I think first, if people see the demo, that will be helpful, right?
Sure, yeah, Ritu. So based on how your timing is like, because you mentioned that you had to go early on. So if you
No,
want to finish your part and then, so otherwise it's fine. We'll go with the
yeah, yeah.
demo and then the future.
Yes, yes, we'll do a demo. So Geeta, you are there?
Yeah, hi, greetings to all. So I'll just quickly share my screen.
Spotlight.
So yeah, Skandesh, he is the one who has written the bot Python and he worked on the bot. So I would like him to start the bot and you can pop up question.
Just a minute, it has just started. So I'm asking a basic question, like how a beginner will ask this.
Okay, just a second. So if you see here, thank you so much for the comments. So if you see here, it is saying that hello, the bot is woken up just now. So this is our Discord server. You can consider this as a TPG's Discord server. And we are, almost ready. I mean, we could, in a day or two, we could, based on the configuration, we could also do a live this thing on the TPG Discord server also, and, help people, do a leaderboard and things like that. So, as our mentor has, already shared. So here you see that the bot has woken up now. And then Skandesh is asking for questions. So how do we write programs on Ethereum?
Yeah, so I'm answering the question.
Thank you, Ether. We really need it. It's quite organic, I would say. It's all the idea is I mean, I came from here only, so I would say that you are the first people who are going to test. So, all right. So it gave so you gave a thumbs up, right? And you see the token of gratitude. Oh, wonderful. So if you click on this, you'll see the entire history of what has happened. However, you see that this is, I guess, in so you get a fire. So we get a fire. How many points do we get? All right. So the success has been made, and you see that there is a point which you have accumulated, which is 0.5, right?
So I'm again asking another question just to demonstrate another option.
Okay, great. We are good learners. We want more questions.
So Geeta, if you can, yeah.
Ask Web3 or Web5. What are you asking?
Geeta, just put Web3, just small Web3, no?
No, I'm just kidding. Web5 was in news, right? So.
Also, Geeta, another limitation we have is we have just created a dictionary where selected words will be selected, and only those words, if the message has, then we would reward. So I'm accepting this answer, and I'm more satisfied than the previous, so I'm giving a fire. So
Okay, wonderful. So we go
based
to transaction and see.
So because Kadesh gave fire, so I'll be getting 1 token instead of 0.5. 0.5 is for thumbs up and 1 token is for fire.
Exactly, wonderful.
So coming to UI part. So as I got the tokens, so now it's time for me to spend it and mint some NFT. So this is what I got, some karma credits. Let me connect. So yeah, so now I can mint NFT and I can see my tokens as we were doing a lot of many time. So I got a lot of token over here. So I can see the balance. I have 400 and I can mint NFT now.
So consider this as, a kind of a marketplace where, you will have a lot of these NFTs already in place, where there has to be a partnership between TPG and say Linux or Udemy or Coursera. And these people would be floating their NFTs here. You can take a look at them and, say that, okay, this is something which is in my budget and I like this event, and you'll go and mint the NFT, which actually means the ownership gets transferred to you, and you can attend the event, right? So that's where we have ended it. So you see a congratulations message and you get a 65% discount.
Yeah, so I minted this. Now I can attend this event with 65% of discount. So we can see the transaction. Yeah. So my tokens got deducted and I minted TPG token. I minted this NFT. So we would like to start with TPG. We would like to implement this with TPG because all we started from here.
Exactly. So that would be a token from all of us to you, actually. That's a kind of, I mean, why always give also, right? Thank you, Jan.
That's it, guys. Thank you.
All right, so I'll quickly share my screen and show you the future, what we think we should be doing in future. So number one is, I hope you can see my screen, right? So number one. All right, great. Thank you. So one is that we have just done it for Discord, but we need to create more connectors for other, other applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, and all of them. And maybe add a few Web3 communication systems also here. Then we need to also build the AI ML algorithm, which needs a better training. So right now we were struggling with the training data because the time was short and we could not achieve the high accuracy model. So that's something which we will be working after this. Then there are, we have comments from our mentor, and we are very proud that Care sir has actually helped us in this, giving a lot of feedback. And one of the feedbacks was, trying to add wallet addresses. So if you see in technical, in the technicalities, how are we, putting the or transferring the tokens to the wallet address of the people who have answered it, right? So we have actually done a kind of a mapping. But in real world, what is going to happen is either the platform itself is going to provide this, or maybe the mapping has to be given based on what user enters, right? If I am somebody who wants to participate in this particular mechanism, then I need to give my wallet address so that the bot takes it up, maps it out, and then starts giving the results, right? Giving the rewards. So that's something which is not yet, but we will be working this out. Mechanisms like opting in and opting out is also something which we think might be useful, because people will be leaving the network or the Discord channels and all. Then warning symbols for spammers, and that's something which we have been seeing it coming this on blockchain. It's more like a warning system for them, right? Then this is something which we already did but we want to, encourage or, make this more better with adding more emojis, icons related to the, the range of points which you get. Royalty mechanisms, we haven't thought about this much, but we are just thinking wild and thinking about if somebody has answered and has benefited, but later somebody else picks that answer, right? You might either get a royalty out of it, or maybe somebody reshared it or retweeted it. Think from that angle, right? So you still get the points because you are the original answerer of that question. And then, scaling it to multiple partners, that's also something which I talked about. An API server for smooth integration. For now, I mean, we have just created use client APIs to do that, but going forward we will have a REST server so that it becomes very smooth. When you have more partners, they can integrate your APIs directly on your mobile devices and all. That's something which we plan to do. And there are some research topics also, like if we could use wrapped tokens or hash time logs, but they are yet to be explored. And that's it. Thank you. I think I took a lot of time. Thank you so much.
No problem, Ritu. Thank you so much for explaining your project in such a detailed manner, and you all have created, like, done a lot of research, created a lot of different components, elements. It was amazing to kind of see, and we are definitely rooting for all the projects that everybody has created. We are going to be the first users, so we're happy to onboard you at any time. And I think it's perfect use case for
You are our Genesis block.
yeah, we have Genesis block for everything. So awesome. Opening up the floor for questions. If anybody has any questions, please. Questions, comments.
I was reading for going to the DevCon in Colombia, and there is a discount on the ticket if you can demonstrate you are a builder, not just as a developer. Like if you can demonstrate you help growing the community around Ethereum. So they ask you, like, how can you demonstrate? Maybe show us some pictures of you onboarding people or something. Also, they ask, like, if you have popes of your attendance to this kind of events, like, show us. So I was thinking, like, if I have these kind of tokens that your team are presenting now, I could say, okay, I have these karma tokens that shows that I'm a real contributor, an active contributor. So I think this is this is a use case. Your project is really applicable in real life. Like there is some already organizations that wants to take this on account. And
right.
Congratulations.
There has to be a lot of partnerships which have to be done, but you are on the right track. I think that's something which we aim.
Oops, I meant, any other questions? Mentors or others on the call? Okay, if not, first off, thank you so much, team. It was a great presentation, and you were able to pull off an amazing demo as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can start using this product for TPG and hopefully, get this karma cycles going. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it might be something, Gyan, for like other people who want to continue and if they're open to it, to other participants to help and with anything that's open. You had some things that were kind of open standing that need to be done. Maybe let other participants help with it, and then it would really be like a community project, like Sylvia was saying. It becomes and then of course, you may not see that you contributed until after it's live because the thing has to be live before you see it. But then everybody can really feel like they're contributing toward it as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ways could also be to just open source this and request for contributions from the community. So it would be something like the bootcamp folks came together and built it. That can be also a great idea. And I'm seeing like use cases right away. We have our JavaScript bootcamp coming up, so we can totally experiment with that and see how things go, and then have some test tokens rolling on Thinkific, and yeah, maybe great use case. So yeah, thanks Ritu, Geeta, Skandesh, and Teju, other person on your team, right? 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks guys. Awesome presentation. I know that we are slightly running behind schedule. So Marina and your team, if you're here to present, please feel free to start the presentation. Period tracker, that's the project.
Yes, this is our
Awesome.
project. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I'm going to also spotlight.
Open. Uh-oh. Hold on. I've got a new computer, and of course, it won't let me. Shoot. Quit, reopen. Uh-oh. I have to exit the meeting and re-log in because it won't let me share my screen otherwise. I will be back in 2 seconds.
No problem. I'm sure there are also others from Marina's team here. If you want to talk about the idea, Roxana, I think you are also part of Marina's team, right?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. I'm not a part of the bootcamp. I was just helping out on the project week. So, yeah, I can talk a little bit. So it's basically it's a decentralized period tracker. So I'm not sure if you guys are all familiar with it, but it's heaps of apps out there. They are basically for women who can track their period wherever whatever the reason you're using it. It can be for you to understand how your period affect your moods or affect your well-being or anything. So like a lot of women, actually, it's very widely used. And then yeah, we. Marina can explain a bit more about it because she's a data engineer. But the idea is that, of course, those data is not at all private. So there's been a few cases on those apps. You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you can take all that, and they asked me to just like start to pitch it a little bit. But yeah, I just said that we are building a decentralized period tracker and what a period tracker is.
Yeah, yes. So we are Unmoon, and we have built a prototype for a Web3 period tracker. So our team is myself, Pauline, who was just speaking, working on the front end, Roxana, who did our research, Shanks, who did a bunch of UI work that we unfortunately weren't able to use. We just haven't had the time to implement it. And Naomi Oba was our advisor. So the problem, this is a tweet from a woman who started talking about the lack of privacy in women's data in these apps that people are using. And if you read this thread, it's eye-opening and also terrifying. In the US in particular, now that the Roe versus Wade, the abortion access decision is about to be overturned by the extremely conservative Supreme Court, women all over the country or in many parts of the countries are about to lose access to safe and secure abortions. And why is this a big deal, and how does this apply to us? Well, it turns out that Web2 period trackers, apps such as Flow and SafeGraph, have actually been selling their data, women's data, to third parties. And some apps have said that they won't share their data, except once Roe versus Wade falls, government agencies would be able to subpoena their data and demand it to get it, whether those companies are willing to voluntarily share it or not. Then that data can be correlated with geolocations of abortion clinics, And it's possible that women could be arrested. And this is like trials of this are already happening in some very, very conservative states in the United States. So that's a very terrifying, very, very, very terrifying prospect. So my idea was to build a period tracker that nobody has the access to their data except for the person who saved data in their wallets. So there's no, the contract is verified, you can check it on the blockchain. You cannot access the data if you are someone else. There's no public access. Let's get access to all the data. Unlike in centralized data stores, there is no admin that can go, because it's all on the blockchain, that can go and get a mass download of the data and then give it all out. So that problem is solved. As we're working on it, though, we realize that it's not actually solved, because all the transactions are visible on the blockchain, individual transactions. So you could see each individual transaction as the data is saved. So hypothetically speaking, if one wanted to, they could work back with this information. That's something that we came up with during researching this, researching the technology. And I would love to talk about this a little bit more after the presentation and the demo, as well as get some people's input. I just spent a few days at Consensus last week and brought it up to quite a few people and had quite a few responses. So I would love to get the advisors' input on this as well. So the next steps after this presentation, well, actually, why don't I go to the presentation now, to the demo now so you can see it. So we have a React front end with a smart contract. The contract is deployed on the Rickeby testnet. And you could see all the transactions that have a lot of testing that's been going on there. So the React app works as follows. First, you connect your wallet. And you can get monthly data views. So these are the views available for a month. We'll talk about why it looks this way, but basically you could see daily data displayed here. For when you want to save data on a daily basis, you will select a date. So let's find a date that doesn't have it saved for the 13th of June. Okay, so let's go to the 13th of June. And I will say that my mood is neutral. And my cycle, the options for mood are awesome, neutral, or moody. I'll say neutral. And the period options are not on my period, or breakthrough bleeding. So I'll just say breakthrough bleeding, and I will save the data. So now that the transaction has been sent to the contract, we can sit here very patiently and wait for it to show up. This usually takes a minute. I have to refresh the page. So while we're waiting for this to refresh, I'll talk a little bit about the next steps. So next steps for us would be to be able to aggregate the data a little bit more for the user to see whether we can use some sort of predictive function to tell a woman whether she should be expecting her period, she should not be expecting her period, and also based on and analyze the data in some way, the mood data especially, to say, like, how are you, like, are you expecting that you're going to feel moody or irregular or not based on historical data. And there we go. There's our transaction 51 seconds ago. You can look at the data and you can see the way the data is stored on the back end is in different levels of maps. They're stored by year, month, and date, and then we store the period flag and the moon flag, and there's the numerical representations of those. So when we go back to our app, so remember we save the data for the 13th of June. Here we don't have the 13th of June. We do refresh monthly data, and there's our 13th of June that we save. So one of the other obviously next things that we want to do is create a component that looks like a monthly calendar grid like we're used to, and add in icons for the mood and the period status So it's more easily digestible visually, and more sort of easy to take in from one screen. Actually private because it's completely visible in the transactions, even though it's not visible when you query the contract. So the few items that I have researched has been, let me go back to this presentation. A few items that I've researched have included using private blockchains, possibly the secret, which I met during consensus. Some people straight up told me this should just be off chain. Some people said that the data should be encrypted on the front end and then sent on the back end. So all things to think about in the future. Eventually, I would love to be able to use this data to also help women track their pregnancies. The idea came out of this as I've spoken to so many women that have had a lot of trouble getting pregnant, and there's actually very little information out there on how to track your information and how to help that in your journey towards pregnancy and in vitro, especially if you're older. So all things to think about in the future. Okay, these are the items that I've already mentioned in terms of next steps. And these are the GitHub URLs for the smart contract and for the front end React code. And that is it for our presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Marina. I think this was one of the ideas which everybody was kind of looking forward to, as to how this can be implemented in a real life scenario. I've heard a lot of talk around this, but it's great to see that we have kickstarted the first ever, revolution in kind of bringing this maybe on chain, thinking about how we can put this on chain and use Web3 concepts to enable a more safer environment for women to do this. And I think we have been discussing around like if we can do something around the zero knowledge proofs to prevent one's identity and kind of so the data is not actually linked directly to your identity, but yeah, so yeah, things like that.
Yeah. Also building it on. One of the other things that we realized is that this wouldn't actually work on the Ethereum blockchain. It would be way too expensive. So whether should be built on an L2 or maybe another L1 that's a lot more affordable. Those are all things that we have to take into consideration as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of things here that can be thought about L2s and also around privacy itself, identity preserving protocols we can integrate. Yeah, awesome presentation. Great work on the demo as well. The front end was there, smart contracts were there, so all the elements were working beautifully. Opening up for questions. Eniola, you have raised your hand.
Yeah. Hi, Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right. So this is actually a very wonderful project, and I think it should really scale. Though I have some concerns, which is that if we are doing this on chain, how do we, sometimes we might need data analytics from different women all over the world, just for statistics sake, not just to sell their data, of course. So how do you get that if we are storing their data on chain?
So, Eniola, if I got your question right, you are talking about how do we build the statistics out of this on-chain data? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, Marina, has your team thought about this? Like, how do you build statistics around this, like analytics to show maybe kind of what has happened in the past and stuff like that?
Because the flow does it, the way flow out. Yeah, the way Flow app does it, whenever you're on ovulation, if you're currently ovulating, it will tell you that, okay, there are like maybe 5 million other women who ovulate or who feel crampy during ovulation, or who feel hungry, more often during ovulation. So how do you get those data if you're storing them on chain?
If I understand your question, I am not a data engineer, so but the idea is that it's not necessarily the data in itself that is the problem. The problem is that the data is linked to a specific user. Therefore, if you want everybody is able to see the data, sorry, it's a lot of noise. Okay, Marina, maybe
Sorry,
you can.
Yeah, my internet just went out, of course, at the best possible time. Could you repeat the question?
Okay, so I made mention about how do we make use of, or how does data analytics come, how do we, how does data analytics come to play here in a situation whereby you need to get every women's data around the world just for statistics purpose? I mean, not to sell your data, of course, but just for statistic purpose. And do you understand me?
Would have to build to be able to if we're talking about but that functionality exists like that now.
I think my line is breaking right here now. I don't know if anyone can hear me.
Yeah, I
No,
think
Aniola, we can.
I think Marina can actually probably write down her answer on the chat because her voice is breaking.
Yeah, Marina's not in the chat.
Oh,
Like, she's
I
not
think.
on the.
Yeah, I think Marina's internet is
Yeah.
maybe not that great.
She should be joining, I guess. If not, I think you guys can take this offline on the Discord if if you have anything else to discuss.
No, Marina is back on the call. She's on the call. She can just probably just answer the question in the chat.
Oh yeah, okay.
Marina, so if you can hear us, the question is around, have you thought about how you'll work with the statistics since all the data is on chain? And like primarily, there's also like geographic data associated with people putting in their information. So how do you have you thought about that use case? That's the question.
I think we can just take it offline.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Awesome. So thank you, team Period Tracker, for sharing that presentation and kind of initiating these conversations. I think forums like this, we need to talk about these issues more and try to see if we can use technology to the best way possible to find solutions. We are right on time for the next team to present. We have Thui and team. The project name is Masterclass NFT. So is the team here? Jesse, okay. I think Jesse, I've made you the co-host as well. Am I right? Yeah. Marlene, okay, awesome. So yeah, please go ahead.
Jesse will start with a little presentation and then I'll go on with the demo. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, I see it. Thanks, boss.
Okay, hi everyone, and we are the Masterclass NFT, and we want to present that how we began with this idea is because since all of us know that we are a part of this community where we are learning about blockchain in the all together, and when we learn together, we also wanted something like a proof of participation that we are a part of a boot camp, or we are learning solidity, we are learning something hardcore. So we thought of coming up with NFT, because we all know that we all know that NFT has a unique nature where we are able to give we can certify that we have been a part of a boot camp or a master class. So here we are able to build an on-chain CV where our team has built a dApp that rewards the participant of the Phoenix Guild masterclasses with an NFT, which later can be used for future masterclasses. And next slide. And so, as we know that NFTs can be used for certification, it also has this characteristics where it cannot be sold or transferred. And as we know, it's called non-transferable NFT. And recently, Vitalik has also called it a soul-bound tokens, where it's going to stay with us forever. So that is what we want to, give out this NFT as a token that is going to stay with you, and it is going to give you a stamp or a badge that you have been a part of the Phoenix Guild community and the boot camp. And we are all aware of the characteristics of NFT, that it's transparent, it's less susceptible to counterfeiting and manipulation. And also with NFTs, we can also get additional rewards like the NFT perks and goodies, and we can get special access of like the gatekeeping of the community, of the part of the community. And actual participants can also use NFT as a certificate for the next master classes or the resources or any kind of discounts to the events that TPG will be organizing. And also NFT will always stay with us. It will not be destroyed. So once we get the masterclass NFT, we can see it on chain in different forms. So we just had a fair idea of masterclass NFT probably look like this, as a proof of our participation and our experience in this blockchain community. And as for our team, we are 3 members. Toi and Marlene, they are from Germany and I'm from India. And Toi has worked tremendously hard. She's the backend engineer and she has explored the design options of this project, wrote the smart contracts, connected, deployed them, linked them to the front end, and wrote the unit test, research about the lit protocol that she will be explaining later. And Marlene has been a part of our front end, where she has created a design in Figma and built in the HTML and CSS and researched how to, make this website interactive with the JavaScript. And she has also written the RoadMe and made a screencast using the dApp. And I have been a part of the non-technical, where I've researched and shared some of the smart contract examples, designed few of the logos and NFT picture samples, and prepared the presentation. So hats off to my team. And last but not least, that this is our roadmap. We do not want to end our project here, because we have put in a lot of hard work. So there are future implementations in our mind that we can explore, where we can connect the NFT to a picture on IPFS for visible representation. And we can also make this NFT dynamic, where it can upgrade by using chain link keepers, and it can evolve in every masterclass that the person has attended. And NFT minting can go beyond the masterclass, like it can grant access to winners or contributors or donors, and also, since right now our wallet can only connect with the MetaMask, we hope that later on we can bring in more wallet providers in this process of our project. And we can also link a multi-sig of instructors and mentors of the masterclass. So that is all from my side, and I hope this project will help many of us to build an on-chain CV, and where we can reward the loyal participants in this Web3 learning journey, and also be productive contributors in this ecosystem. And I'll hand it over to Marlene, where she will give you a walkthrough of the demo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessie. I will shortly present our dApp. We would just connect our wallet. And make sure we are in the Rinkeby test network. And next step would be that we can mint our actual NFT, paying a little bit of fees, and we'll have to wait some seconds. There we go. And after minting our NFT, we can use it to get access to restricted content. For this purpose, we have deposited the contract address to Lit protocol. And by typing in some sort of email, we can connect a wallet. They check if we have the masterclass NFT, and then we get to see some content, hopefully. I'm already connected, and we see, in this case, our test picture from our project. And for the last step, I would give over to Tui, who will give a short overview about the underlying contracts.
Yes, thank you so much to both of you. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah, so thanks to Jessie and for presenting the division of our project. And but as it is, of course, in reality, it's a little bit more difficult to implement. But anyway, with the path is how say it, the journey is the way. So yeah, talking about the NFT contract. This is not the right one. So yeah, as Marlene said, so there's one contract which is like responsible for the NFT. So so that's basically it. But it looks deceptively simple, but there was a lot of research which went into this. And yeah, but everyone knows the standard 721, but there's also one standard created by Azuki, which is much more gas efficient to mint multiple NFTs in a batch. And this was relevant for us because in the masterclass NFT, we are thinking about if the course instructor wants to mint a lot of NFTs in the beginning, then of course the gas cost would be also a relevant consideration. And yeah, and basically, yeah, that's it for creating the NFTs. And also and then the other question was like, how can we grant access to the content? And this is where the Lit protocol comes, plays a role. And like the Lit protocol offers like token gated access to several services. So in the demo we saw like a Google Drive file. It can be any file on the Google Drive, or also like to Zoom meetings or other pages or services. And yeah, so it basically works like this. I choose my file. No. After I selected the file, it's fairly easy. So that was the good part, because I really struggled to like think about the logic in the smart contract. So it's basically just to configure the whole on which testnet it, on which network it sits, and then the address of the NFT smart contract. And then, for example, I can also adjust how many tokens they should own. Maybe one is not enough. Maybe there's content which is only accessible by people who own 3 of these NFT class tokens. And yeah, so that was the first phase that we managed to get access to the file. And then, of course, another thing is that not everyone should be able to call the mint NFT function. So with talking to Heather, she then suggested to create a whitelist smart contract, which then checks whether the caller is already on a whitelist. And yeah, that's the result for the challengings. And this worked fairly well on the smart contract side, but then the challenge, like in the front end, so as it is right now, like everyone can still access the get access the mint NFT function. But because I struggled to figure out to because this is like a modifier, and I want to call this participant function, but I don't know to put like which parameter to put in because it's a modifier and little things like that. But overall, like the whole bootcamp was a great learning experience. And yeah, if there are any more questions, please feel free to ask.
I just wanted to say also, you guys, nice job on this. And I think also the idea that we discussed in the beginning about the dynamic NFT is a good idea to continue to work on. It seemed like it was going to be a bit much for a few weeks, but I think it's something you guys could, work further on. And in the review of the project, if you want to look at things like this, like how could we have gotten this whitelist working, then we can look at stuff like that in the review process. But nice job.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, maybe also a little bit about the background. So yes, it's a long journey because the idea of the NFT masterclass was also born like during ETH dinner with Jan. Like we had this discussion right about like having this on-chain CV, and yeah, it takes time to build, but it's important to continue to build. And yeah, I'm looking forward to yeah, learn more and do more, and also with the community, especially with the awesome community. And yeah, so okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tui, Marlene and Jesse. This was a great presentation, and this has been one of the products that we have been brainstorming for a while to build. That how do we reward people who attend our master classes or sessions, and then create an on-chain kind of resume for them. I know Tui and I kind of also brainstormed a little bit around the bounty board. So a couple of things just falling, everything's falling together. All the pieces are coming together. So that's great. And I would love to see this project kind of, be launched as a product, as a working product on mainnet, hopefully soon. And happy to support in any way possible. We would definitely be the first users. As I said, they're going to be the Genesis block for all the projects coming out of the bootcamp. Opening up the floor for questions.
Yeah, one thing I
Anyone
want to say is, especially this product, I think this is a great product. You guys should definitely work on this further, and probably apply for like grants and like even VC funding to take this forward. Even to a couple of other projects, right? I think you guys you've done a pretty great job, and just don't leave this as is, and like continue it, and probably apply for funding and stuff, and we'll try to help you as much as we can throughout the whole process as well, if you guys are interested.
Yes, thanks for the encouragement. And so I know myself, I'm a slow person, but I don't give up. So like, I'm very eager to continue on this. And of course, like I said, like it's awesome to have like the other friends to ask. And when I'm stuck with this problem or so, and then there's always someone who could offer advice. So yeah, I would also love to see like something built by the community for the community. And yeah, so we keep in touch, and I'm also part of the JS Bootcamp. So it's a journey. The fun continues, and yeah, looking forward to what will come in the future. Yes.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? No? All right. Yeah, thank you, team, for your presentation. The next team is actually slotted to present in 12 minutes, but if the team is here, are you able to come up in the ladder? Divya Arora, I know you were one of the teammates. Are there other folks in your team who are able to join to present now?
I think yeah, they will be presenting now, I guess. Divya Arora, if you can share your screen, or one of the teammates can share, and you guys can start.
Sri Lakshmi, you're the coordinator of this team, right?
Yeah, Namita is sharing. She will be sharing the presentation.
I will be sharing the smart contracts.
Okay.
The
So
team members are just joining in. Maybe Gyan, we could give them like another 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, if you want to just go over the TPG onboarding PPT, I think this would be the right time.
all right, so I will go through our presentation. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Yep. So all right. So yeah, basically, I want to share this presentation. I know that most of you are already familiar with the Phoenix Guild and what we are doing. Of course, you're part of the bootcamp in some or the other capacity, but we also have external sponsors joining and hopefully watching this video eventually. Um, I just want to take 5 minutes of time to talk about why we are doing this and what we are doing. So the idea of the Phoenix Guild was born when the four of us were sitting and kind of brainstorming as to what are the different opportunities that exist in this space and what are the gaps. Specifically, we wanted to address these gaps for women in the technology space, women in the Web3 space. We started out because we saw that there was huge amount of grant funding that was available in the ecosystem, but the amount of projects, in fact, female-led projects that were coming for grants were very minimal, right? This was the problem statement with which we started kind of really brainstorming and wanted to build something around this, build a solution for this. So that's how the Phoenix Guild was born. Our mission is to create a diverse and inclusive Web3 ecosystem, very simple, straightforward, no jargons. And our long-term vision is to be able to create opportunities for women, both in leadership and at project level, to be able to take up positions in the Web3 space. So the Phoenix Guild was started by 4 Genesis Phoenixes. Everybody's on the call. A huge shout out to the entire team. Prati, myself, Sri Lakshmi, and Nivedita are constantly working round the clock to ensure that we are able to bring more opportunities and think of a roadmap that kind of, can accelerate this process of getting more women into this space. We started with the help of an Ocean DAO grant. So thanks a lot to the Ocean Protocol team who saw that this was an idea worth investing in. What do we do? We conduct onboarding sessions for women in various Web3 topics, both technical and non-technical. We want to create and bring opportunities for women in Web3 in the form of grants, bounties, tasks, etc. We have amazing mentors as a part of the Solidity Bootcamp, you can already see. But this is specifically we want to do for women, mentor them in order to help them attempt these opportunities that exist. Conduct boot camps and immersive sessions for various domains. We started with the technology domain because we can see that there's a huge gap, and this is something that is our primary expertise, but we also want to do things for the non-technology folks around community marketing. That's why we want to collaborate with other communities like the Bigger Pie, HerDAO, Blue3DAO, who are already doing amazing things in this space. We want to collaborate with them and also do things for the non-technical audience so that they can benefit from these opportunities. One of the things that one of the questions we get asked a lot is the community only for women? I want to put it in this way that our community is really open to all, because we can't just have one set of people in the community doing things for huge number of women. We want male allies, we want non-binary folks to be represented as well, and we want everybody to basically come together as a community who believes in this mission and vision. So our community is open to all, our sessions are open to all. We keep most of our sessions open for everybody, but we want to specifically mentor and train women. That's our focus, right? Now, the story so far, we have had a lot of educational sessions. We have done over 10 plus master classes. Our first boot camp, as we know right now, is just coming to a close. We are going to start our next one in July shortly, which is going to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's going to be focused on folks who are either interested in brushing up their coding skills so they can eventually move to Solidity, or B, folks who are interested in getting into the coding space. So we have also done, here are some of the introductory meetup titles we have done. We're starting to do a lot of IRL in-person events as well. I'll talk about this a bit. Some achievements, I'm sure you are familiar with these bounties that we have been doing. The first NFT claim platform is actually going to be live very soon. This is a live project being worked on by 2 women in the Phoenix Guild. We are doing a Rust study group. We had writing bounties for from the Ocean Hackathon, prior to the Ocean Hackathon as well, with the Ocean Grant. We had a couple of folks participate in the hackathon. We have a team working on the analytics bounties and are largely focusing on the data side of things. We had a small team build a logo for each Denver from Herdao. So we had amazing design folks. Here are some hackathon winnings, a crypto savings app, which was led by Nivedita and Abina, and their team won a bounty. Our team won a bounty at East Denver. Both of these were East Denver, both IRL and virtual. Of course, these have been, there are some more winnings that have happened. And then we have grants that have come in from the sponsors for the boot camp, where we will be issuing prizes to the teams that have demoed today. Couple of projects that are ongoing. And of course, the list keeps growing as we see the boot camp as well. Until now, for the bootcamp, we have had 5 weeks of learning plus 3 weeks of project. We have 7 teams presenting or worked on projects, and we have had over 10 plus masterclasses. The team behind the bootcamp, Sri Lakshmi, myself, Nivedita, worked largely on the OPEX content. Almas helped us with the marketing and structuring right up in the beginning. We had Krati, who was gunning for all the fundraising. So overall, an amazing team. Of course, nothing without the mentors. We had amazing mentors ranging from Sneha, who's running now her own startup, Social Free, to Heather, who has helped practically most of the teams get their project up and running from ground. Kier, who has been amazingly active on Discord, helping wherever possible. Shweta, Inyola, Hadi, Krati, Zero Exchange. I'm always trying to get her original name. Jennifer, everybody has been constantly working with teams and groups, answering their questions and being able to come up and help do a lot of check-ins. I saw that most of the groups have had more mentor check-ins than actually students checking in. So that's amazing, right? Because all the mentors are proactive in kind of figuring out what's happening. So huge thanks to this entire team. And I hope that we are able to have you folks engage with us at the Phoenix Guild going forward as well, because what you bring to the table is just absolutely amazing. These are just a few speakers from our master classes. I'm sure most of you have attended almost all of the master classes. We have had Romina do a master class on tokenomics. We have had Eva and Tina do a master class on DeFi. We have had the Arcana team come and present about their Arcana network and privacy preserving identities and things like that. So we have had an amazing run. We have covered every topic that we could possibly want from a domain perspective, from metaverse, product management jobs, to NFTs, to Ethereum, to smart contract security, DeFi, tokenomics. So it's just been awesome for the entire masterclass speakers. I think the quality was such high bar that we were just spellbound, right? So this was amazing. Quickly want to come to this slide. This is what I actually want to talk about. What next? We definitely want to support projects with respect to grants, or how we can help you formulate this better. It's not just us, but also the mentors. If any of you want to actively get involved with any of these projects, feel free to do it. Everybody's on the Discord. You're on the Discord. Chat them up and figure out how you want to contribute, how you want to help. Our next bootcamp is around the corner. So we are starting our next bootcamp in the first week of July. It's going to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, introduction to coding. Nivedita and Sri Lakshmi are heading this bootcamp end to end. So you can always connect with them for any queries and things going forward. Couple of things we have in the pipeline and ideas in progress. We wanted to do an L2 summit where we only talk about L2s and talk about what are the different types of L2s that exist, starting right from plasma chain, and then going up to roll-ups and state channels and things like that. So that's still an idea in progress. If any of you think that you want to contribute, you want to be a part of this, you want to bring in sponsorships, or you want to work on content, feel free to hit me up. I'm going to put up a slide deck together, just been a bit preoccupied, but I'm going to put that up and also share as to what my idea is, and then take community inputs. The fourth thing, the smart contract audit bootcamp, we have been brainstorming with a couple of folks from the bigger pie who are also actively looking to kind of kickstart something around smart contract audit, because there are almost almost none to maybe one or two smart contract auditors who are females. And this would be an ideal, amazing next step for those who are a part of the Solidity Bootcamp to kind of look into security, smart contract auditing. So again, this is an idea in progress. I'm talking, brainstorming with a couple of folks, couple of auditors in this space, and see how we can put up something. So this is again ongoing. We have been meaning to kickstart this volunteer/ambassador program. It's going to kickstart super soon. Hopefully you can get a lot of admin work related to this done over the weekend. So please, 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 if you want to become an ambassador, you want to volunteer for the community, it could be basically contributing as anything, right? Right from being able to write content, building the social media, helping us with boot camps, or helping us structure things, brainstorming, right, on the technical side of things. What can we do? How can we approach protocols, protocol collaborations, etc. There's one thing that I missed, that is the Phoenix Guild is also now actively setting up IRL events, in-person events, and we are largely starting from India, because this is a geography that many of us organizers, core team is familiar with. But what we are doing is we are partnering up with protocols and opening up doors for education. So you might see a lot of events happening across the globe, big conferences, smaller meetups. The Phoenix Guild, our motto is to be heavily focused on education. So we are trying to bring these protocol collaborations where we can use part of the grants to do education initiatives on ground, and part of the grants to do these education initiatives and replicate this for our virtual community. So this is something we're actively doing. If you feel like there are protocols who you could onboard, or you think that we should connect with and conduct educational sessions or work with them, definitely refer to us. Or as we kickstart the ambassador program, we are happy to delegate this to across the globe. Wherever you feel like you want to set up a chapter, we can discuss and we can figure out how we can help you set that up. Last 2 pointers, want to quickly go over that. Community call, something has been pending. It's on me, it's on the team. We are so wrapped up in the boot camps that we are kind of not able to get here, but the team is traveling next week. Sri Lakshmi and I are traveling to NYC, so we are going to be out until the first week of July, but we should definitely do this in the first week of July. So everybody comes together and discusses what should be the next steps, what are the things that are going well with the community, what are some of the things we could improve, and what are some of the things that we should have on our roadmap, right? That's that. And then when DAO, still in progress. I don't want to commit anything because I feel intimidated with the word DAO, because there's a lot of governance structure that I feel we need to set. But I would like in our community call to discuss if we truly being decentralized, or do you feel like there are a lot of decision making that is happening on our end, but we are not truly taking the community input. I think it's something very important to us, and also want to make it like a very core ethos of our community, that what do you feel that we should be doing, and where should we be going, in what direction. So sort of DAO, but not exactly a DAO. Like I don't want to deploy a smart contract yet that talks about a DAO, but definitely want to go the decentralized route as soon as possible. So these are a couple of things upcoming. Big thanks to everybody who's a part of the bootcamp in any capacity possible. And awesome. I am now kind of going to hand over to the next team. This is going to be our last presentation, and then everybody can be off. Yay. Okay. Divya, Namita, I think your team.
Yes.
Mostly Priya, you're all part of the same team, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to
Can you hear me?
yeah. Okay, Zoom user. Namita, is that you?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm yeah.
I'm going to make you the co-host so you can again. Yeah, I made you the co-host. Muflihat as well. I'm making her the co-host. Divya, you're already the co-host. Is there anybody else in your team who I'm missing?
Priya.
Priya.
I'm not the co-host. Okay.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, I will be starting. Just give me 1 second. Right. And do you see the screen?
Yes.
All right, great. So this is our team here, and we are going to present today something called as a vehicle registration on chain. What it is all about, right? We are calling it Vroom, but of course, let me on to the next one. All right. So we are a team, Divya, Priya, Mufliat, myself, Namita, and Bessie, who have come together to make this possible. So the problem statement that we are trying to address here is that today multiple frauds occur when miscreants, try to pull out the license plates from some vehicle and use those vehicles for illegal activities. They can replace those number plates or license plate on the vehicles, etc. And the vehicles can be used for any illegal activities. Or sometimes the license plates actually get damaged due to any wear and tear or accidents, etc. Right, where they're not very legible. So this is one of the problems, and the second problem in the same space is that it is sometimes difficult, again because of some of the fraudulent activities, that the vehicle ownership is not properly ascertained, right? It can be fudged because things are on paper and not very well published, right? So what we thought is we could try to approach this problem by leveraging this blockchain technology. So what we thought of doing is, if we could have those license plate which are anyways unique to a car, any vehicle rather, if we can create them as NFTs, as unique tokens, and so you can always say that this NFT is associated with a particular car and you cannot actually change the uniqueness of that. And the second thing is, once you have an NFT minted for a license plate, then you can associate it with owner of the car, right? And we can create this kind of an ownership, and it can be published on the blockchain, so that whenever you want to identify a particular owner for a vehicle, that can be done based on the transactions that have happened on the chain. Right, so this is the thought process, the problem statement that we thought. Now, how are we going to do it with the implementation, or what we thought of as an idea for implementation is, yeah, so we are going to do two things. One is mint the NFTs for a new license plate, and second is maintain this kind of a mapping of the car, the license token that we have minted, and the owner relationship on the chain itself, right? So now what do we do? What steps are you going to involve when we are doing minting the NFTs? Are basically, let's say a buyer goes to a vehicle dealer and says that he wants to buy a vehicle. So what does the vehicle dealer do? The vehicle dealer, let's say for the scope of this project, we said that the dealer already has a pool of the license plate which are provided by some authority. We have an RTO authority in India. So let's say the pool of these license plates are provided to the dealer. So whenever the dealer knows that a vehicle is being sold, he will mint an NFT for the license plate, and then associate that license plate with the vehicle that is getting sold. Right now, this mapping has been done. So we know that this car, and we identify a car uniquely or vehicle uniquely with a chassis number, an engine number, and all of those parameters. So we know that the car and the license plates are now tied together. And the next thing that we have to do is, the vehicle dealer now associates the buyer's public key or the address with the license plate. So, and then this kind of a mapping gets written onto the blockchain,
so that now the ownership of the car is established and it is published. Now, tomorrow, whenever the car needs to be resold, the current owner can write a new transaction saying on the chain to transfer that ownership, so that only the car's ownership now moves to the new owner. So this is the kind of idea that we thought of implementing, and handing over to Mufliat and the other team members to take this to showcase the demo. Thanks to our mentors Shweta, Lakshmi, and all for helping us out with it. Over to you, Mufliat. Let me stop sharing my screen. Sorry, I was doing this from the phone, so. Okay.
Mufliat, are you able to share your screen?
Mufliat, please go ahead and share your screen.
I think Mufliat has not joined audio, or Mufliat, are you able to share? No, I don't see her audio.
Yes.
She has joined the call, but
let me just check.
Yeah, let me also ping her. Meanwhile, is there anybody else from your team who wants to share about the idea, what you worked on?
Yeah, Divya, Priya, if you want to go ahead and explaining the smart contracts that you have created, you can go ahead with that. Once Mufliat joins, we can go through the UI screens.
I thought we should go with front end first.
Yeah, but I think she's not able to join in or present.
I'm not.
I don't think she knows. Maybe it's a network.
Me and Divya can talk about the smart contracts, and when Mufliat joins, she can show the front end.
Yeah, I will start sharing my screen.
Sure, please go ahead.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Can you confirm?
Yes, we can see it now.
So okay, I will be there are two contracts. One is the vehicle NFT contract, in which will be the minting the NFT and setting the token URS, and second one is the mapping contract, which Priya will be explaining. So I will go through this vehicle NFT contract. So first of all, we are using this ERC 721 contract for this for minting NFTs and for this tokens, and then we are taking this first of all we are creating this token URIs. We are mapping and this is the safe mint is the main function for this contract, which will be useful for the minting the NFT. Here we are passing the to address and this token URI, and in the function detail I will go through. First of all, we are incrementing the token ID, and then we are setting the token URI in this through the token ID and token URI. So first of all, we use this ERC 721 for the in the blockchain concept. We are using this ERC 721 to this is the Open Zeppelin dependency. We are using this to use the NFT functions and get the inherited functions like set token URI and safe mint functions. So basically, we have two main functions like safe mint, which is which will basically mint the NFT, and second one is for this setting the token URI, which will be passed as a string to the token NFT token ID. So Priya, can you explain this mapping project?
Sure. With this mapping contract, we are mapping the car details to the license plate. and which is the token ID, NFT token ID, and that token ID to the owner of the car details. So that two mapping we have done. So here we have created a struct for the owner attributes. Here we are writing all the attributes like public key, owner name, owner address. And for the token ID, we are taking just the token ID that we are minted. That token ID we have taken here. And the struct for the car, all the details of the car will be here. Oh, yes. So the struct car we have taken here, and all the details of the car are given over here. And then we have mapped owner ID to token ID, means the owner public key to the NFT token ID, and also to token ID to token URL, the token URL of the image license plate, and the NFT token ID. The next mapping is token ID to token info, means all the information about the NFT license plate will be mapped over here. First function is to list the license plate, means when the owner is buying the car, he will be able to.
Priya, why you're not using this token ID to token info? Earlier we decided, but like Shweta told us not to use this. So I forgot commenting on this. I will comment.
It's okay, Divya. For the function list license, here when the user will buy the car, and we will be able to map all the details of the car to the license plate, and the license plate to the owner ID. So here we are here mapping like owner ID to token ID, that when this car is being buy, that token ID will be pushed to the array that we have given, and token ID to token URL. The URL will be set over here. So this is the function list license, is to like when the user buys the car, this license will be, this function will be used.
Awesome. Thank you, Priya and Divya, for walking us through the contract. So Muflihat is mentioning that she's not able to connect through the voice. So I've asked her if she can share her screen, and one of you could just talk about like what this front end, just walk through the front end.
Yes.
If that's possible. So
Yes.
let me just
Can do that.
share the screen. So let me see if she's able to do that.
Yeah.
I think Muflihat has joined 2 times already, but she has not joined the audio.
Yeah, so her audio is not working. She's saying she's not able to dial in. So yeah. Also, she can't hear us.
I think the network in Nigeria is very bad. It's raining here, so I think that is the issue she's having.
Okay, then in that case, no worries, folks. What you can do is, while you're submitting, you can ask Muflihat to record a video of the front end and just talk through it. So you can submit that as a part of your submission, so we can view it at that time in case she's not able to. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. So if she's able to do that, I'm trying to rename Zoom user to Mahitma.
I think she'll join.
So, which we can.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's do one thing. Let's open up the flow for questions. If there are any questions, we'll take them. And by then, if Muflihat is able to share her screen, we can do that. Or if there are bandwidth issues, let's not stress her out. We'll, ask her to submit a video and take a look at that later. Are there any questions, anyone, from this project, the idea?
I just have a couple questions. It seems like this is an interesting project idea, and maybe you guys can talk about maybe whatever challenges you might have had, or in because it's an interesting idea, and it's also a lot to take on. So I'm interested in like what you guys had, challenges from the project point of view.
Yeah, we had a lot of challenges. So we had a lot challenges in mapping the address, which is what we're actually struggling with today. And we said, okay, we are going to present it, then we'll ask for your help and how we can go about that.
Okay. And overall, like Namita, Divya, and team, like Bessie, what were there any significant technical challenges that you faced? I know that integration has been spoken about by several other teams, like integrating the front end with the back end, but was there anything else that you felt like could be?
Yeah, I was facing this challenge to deploy it on testnet, like in hard hat. So still it is pending. Like we still have not deployed successfully. We'll do it like by tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So I'm just noting that down.
I think Muflihat has joined.
Yeah, I'm making. Okay, she's already approved. So
Maybe your project mentor or mentors can help with that.
yeah, I think we can check with Shweta, the project mentor. Maybe you can sit with. If Shweta is also not available, you can sit with any of the mentors and kind of, take their input. Yeah, I think Muflihat is here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was trying to help Divya. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think Muflihat doesn't have her audio. So if any other teammate wants to kind of explain what's happening.
Yeah, I can do that. Muflihat, go to the first screen. We will start from the first screen. Can she hear us?
No, I don't think so. Just
okay. So
wait, she's going back.
Type it on the chat box. You can see.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Okay.
I think she started.
Okay. So
yeah.
she's on the first screen. So this is the screen where we have so let's say this is the first screen where all the cars which the dealer has are listed. Now, if Lexus SUV that you see on the left side, if that's getting sold, the dealer will say, okay, now I have to generate the license plate for this car. So he goes and clicks on that get license button. So, and then this is the NFT that gets minted. It's an image. So you have the license plate as an NFT, as an image. Also a physical license plate, of course, gets created. And after this is done, you are going to basically link this to the owner. So there's a button that we have, which if you click on this, it says that, okay, NFT is minted successfully, and I want to continue to mapping this. So when and here you now put the buyer's details, the name, the public address, whatever, about the buyer. Now, of course, not all of this information goes on the chain, right? The address goes on the chain. So you enter the buyer's detail, price we've just kept, it's not integrated. And you say now that you link this. So what has now happened is Mrs. Phoenix, who's the buyer of the Lexus SUV, has got the car under her ownership, and the license plate is associated with it too. So she walks out with a brand new car and licenses the plate as the NFT as well as the physical license plate. So it is all done seamlessly, and we can cut through a lot of paperwork that typically happens in India, at least when you go ahead to buy a car. And this is going to be on the chain publicly available. So you cannot fudge around with the ownership.
Of course, there are a lot of other considerations that we have to think through, and that would add layers to this. But we have tried to keep it simple at this point to showcase the learnings that we as a team had.
Awesome. Thank you, team. I will again open up for questions if there are any questions. So from what I understand, I just have one question. One thing, as Divya mentioned, that you have not been able to deploy the contract yet. So that means your front end is not yet integrated into the contract. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, I see. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Front-end and back-end integration is pending.
Okay, awesome. Are there any other questions? All right. I think we're already over time, so just wanna be mindful of that. It's over 10:48 p.m. in India, so we gotta head out for dinner. One thing is, I want to first off congratulations to all the teams who presented, and all of you, each one of you have done an amazing job. You were able to build something out of scratch, like you started something during this boot camp, and you had the resilience, the patience to kind of finish the boot camp, come until the demo day, and also be able to demo a working product, right? So that's already great. Kudos to all of you. Your projects will start getting evaluated from Monday onwards. So we have decided that for teams who are unable to complete their demo, their project, you get 2 more days, that is over the weekend. So if you want to polish your projects, you want to polish the UI, you want to ensure that the integration is working, you still have the weekend to complete that. Post Sunday, Monday onwards, your projects will start getting evaluated. So by Sunday, we will be accepting whatever it is, the last set of your submissions. So you have 2 more days to work on your videos, to build a video, to build the integration, which some of you have found extremely difficult. I'll try to share some YouTube resources, maybe to make it easier. And definitely 2 more days, and then we'll wrap up the bootcamp. And once the projects have been evaluated, we will be sharing the ways to claim your bootcamp rewards for those who have successfully made the submission. And we will also be sharing the process on how you can go about claiming your rewards. We are planning to use a bounty platform where we will be putting up the project name. So each of these projects can come and claim on that platform. That's the plan. Last but not the least, if you have not shared your ETH address yet, please share it on Discord and on the Excel sheet. Actually, Excel sheet is what we are going to be referencing now. So the Excel sheet, which has all your team details, ensure that all your ETH addresses are there, and these are the addresses to which the rewards will be going out. So ensure that all that is in place. For all the mentors who have joined us, we have amazing co-apps that we built for both the mentors and the participants. So please ensure that you are sharing your ETH addresses with us. We got some cool designs, and we want to share that with you as a token of appreciation for the mentors, and of course for something like a proof of work for the teams as well. So these will be the next steps. Again, thank you so much for participating today. We have sat on the call for over 2 hours, and there have been some amazing projects, some amazing ideas. Thank you so much to everyone who has stayed till the end of the call. And I'll see you on Discord and on Telegram. Last but not the least, we'll be rolling out a feedback form soon. So please fill that up. Let us know what went right and what went wrong in the bootcamp. And of course, we'll discuss this during our community call as well. That what went right, what went wrong, what are the things we could do better, and then shoot for the next cohort whenever we think of doing it. Amazing, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Have a great day, great weekend, and thank you for submitting your projects, and thank you for learning with us, and I hope your learning journey keeps continuing. Amazing. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Well done,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Thanks a lot. Super proud of everybody who's presented. Great work.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
amazing projects.
Yeah, you guys all did a really good job.
Thank you for all.